Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So reports are coming out saying that Manchester United have reportedly submitted a bid of £25 million for Crystal Palace's Aaron Bissaka. He has been subjected, to a lot of transfer speculation. Obviously the likes of Tottenham have been interested in him, Manchester City have also, been interested in Aaron Bissaka, the young Englishman, only 21 years of age. Obviously, he has been on Manchester United's agenda, over quite some time, because obviously, we do need to recommend a right back to come in. Obviously, we need a replacement for Valencia. Obviously, we need an upgrade to Ashley Young, and obviously, we do need a covered up for Diego Dalot. But as I said, Manchester United have reportedly submitted a bidding for him of around £25 million. I don't think this will convince, Crystal Palace to let him go, because I think Crystal Palace are demanding that they want around 50 or 60 million pounds for Aaron Bissaka. But as you all know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has made it. He's obviously worked out our transfer strategy for this summer, and obviously he has bluntly made it clear he wants to recommend a number of young players, that can come in, grow, develop and emulate to the next current level. So he wants to bring a number of young players in, does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But as I said, Aaron Bissaka is one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets. He's only 21 years of age. Obviously so far has spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace, of course. Only breaking into their first team in February of 2018. So he has been in their first team about 14 or 15 months as Aaron Bissaka. When he was a lot younger, he initially was a winner, was Aaron Bissaka, and then obviously he got rotated as a right back, did Aaron Bissaka. But I think Crystal Palace want around 50 or 60 million pounds him, so I don't think 25 million pounds will be enough to convince currently Crystal Palace to offload the player. But as I did say, he's got 3 years left on his contract with Crystal Palace. I think reports came out a while back saying that Aaron Bissaka was fully committed to Crystal Palace, and he was intending on spending at least another season with Crystal Palace. But yeah, he's regarded now as one of the best right backs in the Premier League, and I think he would be fantastic for Manchester United. And I do think he's got the ability, to elevate Manchester United at least in the next 2 to 3 years. Obviously, looking at it, the more attractive option, for Aaron Bissaka, would be City or Tottenham, of course, because obviously, we are a turbulent Manchester United are a turbulent football club at the moment. But he has been on Manchester United's agenda, for quite some time. But reportedly, we have submitted a bid of around £25 million for the young English fullback, and that fullback position has been a problem, in the last couple of years for Manchester United. But as I did say, I think we're okay at that left back position. I think we need to get a current right back in, of course, because obviously Valencia is leaving. We need an upgrade to Ashley Young. So I do believe that Aaron Bissaka, would be the right solution for Manchester United. Obviously, he's had a year's he's had over a year's worth of experience in Crystal Palace senior squad. But yeah, maybe Aaron Bissaka, wants to take his career to the next level. Maybe wants to go to a competitive elite level football club. Maybe wants to go to a team that can currently win trophies. And obviously, he's not going to experience this with Crystal Palace. Is Aaron Bissaka. But yeah, I do believe he would be the right solution for Manchester United. But obviously, Tottenham are obviously in for him. Obviously, Manchester City, of course, are in for him. And obviously, talking about Tottenham, they've got quite a few players on their agenda this summer. Obviously, Mauricio Pochettino came out, was it quite a few weeks back, threatening to resign as Tottenham manager if he isn't back to this summer, because obviously, Tottenham haven't done any transfer activity at least in the last couple of windows. Well, in the last couple of windows, they haven't done any transfer activity, Tottenham. So he has threatened to resign, if he isn't back this summer, Pochettino. But Tottenham, I still think they need a couple of players in their team. The Tottenham, if they're going to be a competitive elite level football club, if they're going to be up there, winning their trophies, I do believe they need a couple of players. And Tottenham have spent about £200 million, well over £200 million, since Pochettino got recommended in 2014. He has now been at Tottenham 5 seasons as Mauricio Pochettino. So obviously, Tottenham have identified, they've got quite a few players on their agenda. Obviously, Aaron Bissaka is obviously on their current agenda. But Manchester United are reportedly planning to put a bid in of around £25 million for him. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, still believes that we can attract players to elite level, even though we're not in a Champions League football for next season. We are getting a spending spree of around £250 million to spend this summer. Solskjaer is not intending on bringing any short-term players in. Obviously, we are expected to orchestrate a big summer clear-out. I think we're set to get rid of at least 5 players, but all the players we do want to go, obviously, we're not going to be able to, to resolve these problems in one window. It's going to take a couple of windows to currently address that problem. Obviously, we do know that the club is still looking to hire a director of footballing, to change the structure of the club and all that. And obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to need backing this summer. So we've got to sort this, thing out with the director of football, before the current start of next season. But as I did say, I do believe in the next couple of seasons, our aspirations is going to be, fighting for that top four. And we've got to get the right recruitment this summer, because analysing our recruitment policy is extremely very, very poor. But as I did currently say, yes, so I hope, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to get back to this summer. But yeah, Aaron Bissaka, 21 years of age, has still got a lot of years ahead of him. So I do think he'd be a great sign for Manchester United. As you all know, we are on the verge of getting a deal over the line for Swansea City's Daniel James. Talking about Daniel James, I think Man United have been in talks, Manchester United have been in talks, about Daniel James. I think the personal terms have been agreed. I think it's reported that a fee has not currently been agreed as yet, but I think the initial fee will be around £15 million. If add-ons are included, it might rise it up to £20 million. Don't get me wrong, I have got concerns about this signing about Daniel James, because I have got reservations about him. But looking at it realistically, he's going to be our first signing for this summer. But Daniel James, I've got reservations about him. He's not very, very good in the air. When it comes to his defensive contribution, I've got concerns about him. But looking at it from a positive, looking at it positively, he can, make good runs, Daniel James is very, very fast, he can score goals, of course, but has he got the abilities, has he got the minerals, to make it to the highest level, Daniel James, because obviously he hasn't played to the highest level yet, Daniel James. He's primarily a winner. He's supposed to be more effective from that left-hand side, but the stories broke out about this the other week, saying that Manchester United, were close to agreeing a deal of around £15 million for Daniel James. He has been submitted to a lot of transfer speculation, because he has been, a number of clubs that have been interested in, reflecting on his fantastic performances throughout the course of this season with Swansea. Obviously, Brighton came in at the final hurdle, but I think from Daniel James's perspective, he has bluntly made it clear he wants to make the move to Manchester United. Obviously, Everton have been interested. Liverpool, Leeds were on the brink of getting him in January, but obviously, Swansea pulled out of the deal right at the final hurdle. But Daniel James has got a year left on his deal. I think he's played about 30 odd games for Swansea City this season. So can he exceed expectation levels in the Premier League with Manchester United? He's 21. He's a Welsh international, so he has got a lot of development in him as Daniel James. So I hope he can deliver the goods to Manchester United. It hasn't been finalised as yet, because reports still say that Man United are in negotiation with Swansea about it, but initial fee has not yet come to an agreement, as I initially thought the fee had come to an agreement, but the personal terms have currently been agreed. But yeah, he does primarily play on the left-hand side. So obviously now we're supposed with Daniel James coming in, we'll probably rotate Martial, and we'll put him in more like the central position, because we know mainly Martial plays on the left, but we're supposed with Daniel James coming in, we'll rotate Martial in more of his current central position. But as I did currently say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has showed an interest in quite a few British players. Of course, Aaron Bissaka's on his agenda. Declan Rice has been on our agenda. Obviously, Borussia Dortmund's Jadon Sancho has been on our agenda. And obviously we do know that Jadon Sancho was the club's number one priority target, for quite a long time, of course. And obviously now reports are coming out saying that, as he updated you earlier on, saying that there's a lot of Manchester United fans now that are convinced, that Jadon Sancho's summer transfer is still currently on, because obviously, as it has been announced yesterday, that Borussia Dortmund had confirmed the signing of Thorgan Hazard and Julian Brandt, as I said. So now Man United fans are convinced, that Jadon Sancho, could leave Borussia Dortmund in the summer, and that he could make a move to Manchester United. But I don't think, Jadon Sancho will be coming to Manchester United. Obviously, based on our failure, to get a Champions League footballer for next season, I don't think Jadon Sancho, will be making the move. I think from his own perspective, Jadon Sancho is intending on spending at least another season with Borussia Dortmund. He's only 19 years of age. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him as Jadon Sancho. And yeah, I do really, really like him, as he was the club's #1 priority target, for a very, very long time, primarily a winner. He was the obvious candidate for that win position, was Jadon Sancho, but I do believe if he came back to the Premier League, it would, help him with his developing process. I think it would create a better platform for Jadon Sancho, but he's been fantastic in his couple of seasons with Borussia Dortmund. He can score goals, he can provide, he's got absolutely fantastic mental talent as Jadon Sancho, and yeah, and Man United, were willing to pay his £100 million valuation, as you all know. We're willing to pay that because we've got the financial power, to currently meet his £100 million valuation. But I think Jadon Sancho is intending on staying at Borussia Dortmund. I think from Borussia Dortmund's perspective, they're very, very convinced he will remain there. But looking at it from a financial point of view and from Borussia Dortmund perspective, they'd make a massive profit on the current player, because obviously, they got him from next to no. They only paid around £7-8 million deposit for him from Manchester City a couple of years ago, because Man United were willing to pay the £100 million valuation. But I think our move for Jadon Sancho is in serious jeopardy, obviously because we failed to get Champions League football, and he's still under contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022. And obviously, Thorgan Hazard, who they've signed, is a current winner. I think Julian Braun is a winner. I think he's primarily a winner. A few times this season, he has played as an attacking midfielder as Julian Braun. But there has been talks that maybe now Jadon Sancho, could be surplus to requirements. Thorgan Hazard coming in, and obviously, Julian Braun coming in. He could be a surplus to requirements for Jadon Sancho. But I think he's intending on staying with Borussia Dortmund, and I don't think Borussia Dortmund are keen on selling him, of course, because Borussia Dortmund have sold quite a few of their players in recent years. Obviously, they've sold Pulisic for £47 million to Chelsea. Obviously, they've got the replacement for obviously Pulisic. They've got Thorgan Hazard in. Obviously, they sold Ousmane Dembele for around £105-106 million to Barcelona. They sold Aubameyang for around £58-59 million. So Borussia Dortmund still know how much of a essential player Jadon Sancho is, and he's an integral part of Borussia Dortmund's team. So it is looking like now we're not going to get Jadon Sancho in the summer. But there's still some Manchester United fans that do believe, that his summer transfer is still currently on. But I don't believe this is currently going to happen. So yeah, that looks very, very unlikely. And he's one of England's hottest prospects, is Jadon Sancho, only 19. Has still got a lot of years ahead of him. But yeah, he's no longer the club's #1 priority target. And but as I did say, you can see the deficiencies in the squad. You can identify the areas where Manchester United are lacking, and obviously we've got to resolve these problems in the summer. And I think any signage, the signage we do currently make this summer, they've got to fit the culture and the history of the club, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is currently looking to buy into our history. And talking about none this squad is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, so he's still in the process of rebuilding. As we all know, a lot of money has been spent at the club, as I just said. Since Alex Ferguson retired, I think about over £700 million has been invested. We've had different managers, of course, with different type of philosophies. And if this bad vein of form continues going on into next season, I will be critical of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I will want him out of the club. Some people have said, we've given the job too early, and maybe we should have waited till this point now. Whether we're going to to make the decision, whether we're going to give him the job permanently or not. But it was all going very, very well when he was the interim manager. Them expectation levels would exceed. The results were good, the performances were very, very good, and he was getting the best out of these group players. So it just seems to have all gone wrong, since Solskjaer has got the job permanently. But as I did say, I don't know if he's got the, I don't know if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is, got the stature, to command us in that position, because he hasn't got a great managerial pedigree, not to the current highest level. He had it as a player. He had great experience of a player, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but he hasn't really got it as a manager, and that's what currently concerns me. But we haven't got the structure, to keep sacking managers, as you all currently know, because we have sacked 3 managers, of course, since Alex Ferguson retired, but we've still got to give him the summer to spend. We're getting around £250 million. It's going to be a lot more than that, if we're cashing for likes of Pogba, we're cashing for Lukaku, obviously cashing for De Gea. That's going to take our spending spree up to around, call it about over £500 million, of course, or should I say something like that. But it will help us with our rebuilding process, and it will currently help us with our transition. But yeah, I'd love having Wan Bissaka, to come to Manchester United, but I don't think £25 million is currently going to be enough, to convince Crystal Palace to do any business, because initially they want around 50 or 60 million pounds for him. Some reports say they want around 70 million pounds for him, but he has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. Tottenham have been in for him. Obviously, that Manchester City have also been in for him, but I'd love Wan Bissaka, to currently come to Manchester United. I think he made about 30 odd senior appearances, since he's broke into the first team with Crystal Palace, but I do really like him, the young Englishman. And he is, his defensive capabilities are also very good, and now he's obviously, predominantly a right back. So I'd love, Wan Bissaka, to currently come to Manchester United. And obviously we do need 3 new additions in that midfield. I do believe we need a replacement for Paul Pogba. We need a replacement for Ander Herrera, and I do believe we need a centre defensive midfielder that's fast and tenacious, and that's one of the priority areas where Manchester United, of course, do need to bolster up. I also believe that we need a couple of central defenders. We need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof. But talking about Paul Pogba, of course, he did initially say, was it a couple of days ago now, that Manchester United were willing to offer him the captain's armband. Well, Solskjaer willing to offer him the captain's armband, to convince him to stay at the club and, snub a summer move to Real Madrid. But now there has been a change of scenery about this. Now, reportedly, Man United are only willing to offer Paul Pogba the vice captaincy, and now I think for next season, our captaincy, will be given to Ash Young, Gashley Young, should I say. So he's going to be the captain for next season, is Ash Young, as that's obviously confirmed, because obviously, we do know that Antonio Valencia is leaving the club. But as I did say, what leadership has Ash Young shown, what leadership has Paul Pogba shown, and they obviously, are the 2 favourite candidates, to become captains. Of course, reportedly we're willing to offer Paul Pogba the vice captaincy. Ash Young, of course, is currently going to get the armband. But I don't think, us offering, Paul Pogba the vice captaincy is going to be enough to persuade him to stay at the club, because obviously we do know that he's been heavily linked with a move to Real Madrid, and he has been on Real Madrid's agenda for quite some time now as Pogba. Recent reports have come out saying that Man United would accept a bid of around £138 million. I think this is what we're demanding now, so we have lowered our asking price, because initially we wanted around 150 or 160 million pounds for Paul Pogba. But as I did currently say, he hasn't really exceeded expectation levels at Manchester United. He hasn't been the fundamental player as we thought he currently would have been, reflecting back what he did at Juventus, because he did have 4 great years with Juventus. Obviously, we paid £89 million for Paul Pogba. So that just emphasises and shows you that always spending big on players, always getting Galactico players, doesn't always get in that commanding position, and doesn't always guarantee you success. So that is a potential prime example. But, we mainly saw the best of Paul Pogba, in that 3-month period, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager, and we mainly also saw the best of Paul Pogba, when Ander Herrera was currently playing. So that just emphasises how much of an impact, Ander Herrera, of course, made in that midfield, because he freed up the likes of Pogba, and that's when we saw the best of Paul Pogba, because he was expressing himself, he was scoring goals, he was providing, and he was in absolutely scintillating form. But at least in his last 7-8 games, Paul Pogba's performances have been way below par. He's been so inconsistent, and that just emphasises, that he doesn't want to be at the club, Paul Pogba. But at least in the last 4 or 5 weeks, should I say, his agent Raiola has been in the process of trying to secure his current move to Real Madrid. But as I did say, going back a while back, Paul Pogba was talking a hell of a lot about Real Madrid, about his current dream to play for them. Obviously, Paul Pogba was heavily into a move away from Old Trafford last year, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. Obviously, he was linked with his former club Juventus. He was also linked to a move to Barcelona. There has been a lot of transfer speculation going on, that his former club Juventus are interested in re-signing him. They have spoken to his agent Raiola. Obviously, I think it did say Juventus would have to offload a couple of their essential players, to currently fund the move for Paul Pogba. But I think he's destined to make the move to Real Madrid. Obviously, reports broke out, was it the other week, saying that the talks between Paul Pogba and Real Madrid had currently stalled, based on these 13 million wage demands, because obviously his wage demands, did not fit in Real Madrid's current wage structure. Now I think his wage demands are going to be lowered, so he can currently make the move. But I think for Paul Pogba to make his move to Madrid, he just basically needs to put in a transfer request. But obviously, Zinedine Zidane has identified, I think he's going to get around £300 million this summer. Zinedine Zidane, he's got quite a few players on his agenda, but his 2 main priority targets, obviously Paul Pogba and of course Eden Hazard. And And so I don't think we'll get £160 million for Pogba, but I think we could get around 120 or £130 million for him. But obviously, with that money, we could get 2 players there with that money. And maybe one of the other main factor reasons why Paul Pogba wants to leave, because maybe he wants to be up there competing, wants to be up there, he wants to be in Champions League football, wants to be winning trophies, maybe as well, wants to be playing amongst better players. And he isn't obviously, getting this Manchester United. So maybe some fans will be happy he's got, he's supposedly going. Maybe some fans, won't be happy about this, but I think his move's imminent now, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. So I definitely still think he's going to be making the move to Real Madrid. Paul Pogba's got 3 years left on his contract with Manchester United. Obviously, I think we have been in negotiations, to try and get him a new contract, but obviously, it hasn't materialised. Reports came out a while back saying that Paul Pogba was demanding around £500,000 a week, if he was to currently sign a new contract with Manchester United. And he's currently on £290,000 a week at the moment in his current deal, Paul Pogba. Reports recently came out saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Paul Pogba's relationship is slowly fading. So I do believe he's on his way out of the club. Oops. I do believe he's currently on his way out of the club, is Paul Pogba. But yeah, we do need a current replacement for him. And as I did currently say, in regards to Tanguy Ndombele from Lyon, I think we want to clarify Paul Pogba's future reportedly. Before we do make any kind of approach or offer for Tanguy Ndombele. Tanguy Ndombele has attracted interest, from quite a few teams. I think the likes of Tottenham have been linked to him, Juventus have been in for him, PSG have also been in for Tanguy Ndombele. Tanguy Ndombele is very, very young. He's only 22 years of age, so he's very, very young. I think he's primarily a central midfielder, but he has been on currently Manchester United's agenda. I think he won't come cheap, Tanguy Ndombele. I think he's rated at around 87 or 88 million pounds. Leon obviously got him there last summer. They signed him permanently for around 7 or 8 million pounds, because obviously last season he had a long season loan with Leon. Did Tanguy Ndombele, but I think he can score goals. He can provide. He's got a lot of development in him, and I do think he'd blend in very, very well in our midfield. But I don't see us getting a deal over the line for Tanguy Ndombele, because obviously we've refused to make any approach or offer for him. Till we sort of the situation out where with Paul Pogba. So obviously Paul Pogba's the club are basically waiting on Paul Pogba's future before we do make any attempt to sign Tanguy Ndombele. Recent reports did say that Tottenham are the leading contenders for his current signature, but I do believe he could be leaving Lyon. So yeah, he's also been on Manchester United's agenda. Obviously, as you all know, yesterday. A lot of talks going on about Real Madrid's Isco, as you all know. Now, reportedly, Manchester United are interested in him. He has been subjected to quite a bit of transfer speculation yesterday. He did say Man United were interested in him. Manchester City were interested in him. Also, PSG have expressed their interest in Isco, because it is actually, quite possible, that Isco could depart Real Madrid this summer, to make room, for new arrivals, to go to Real Madrid. Obviously, so yeah, Isco, I don't know how he would fit in our system, to be quite honest. I think he'd probably fit in Manchester City's system, but I don't believe he'd fit in our current system, Isco. Obviously, either way, if Real Madrid do decide to sanction him off this summer, he's going to cost you over £100 million, is Isco. Obviously, he's highly experienced, he's 27 years of age. Obviously, hasn't played in the Premier League yet, because obviously he's spent the entirety of his career in Spain. Obviously, he's been at Real Madrid, now 6 years, is Isco. I think he's made about 277 appearances for Real Madrid in all competitions. Obviously, he's won a lot of silverware Real Madrid, including 4 Champions Leagues. Obviously, Real Madrid got him from Malaga, back in 2013 for around, was it 27 million pounds? It was about 27, or was it 30 million pounds, something like that. But I think that was the current figure. But he has spent the entirety of his career in Spain. I think he's primarily an attacking midfielder, is Isco. But I do believe if he came to the Premier League, he would have the capabilities and the attributes, to succeed in the Premier League. Still got a lot of development ahead of him, is Isco, and he has still got a lot of years ahead of him, as you all know. But yeah. So Manchester United are reportedly interesting. Manchester City, of course, are interesting. Obviously, the more attractive option for Isco, obviously, would be Manchester City. And I really, really highly rate Isco. I do really, really like him, but I don't believe he'd fit, Manchester United's system, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. And I would rather, spend that £100 million on Benfica's, Joe Felix. I think he'd fit our system better. Obviously, Joe Felix is only 19 years of age, and obviously, got a lot of development in him as Joe Felix. And I do believe that, Joe Felix, can become one of the best players in the world, and I do believe he can emulate, to become one of the best players in the world. I don't think he can emulate into like a Ronaldo, as I said, or a Messi, or a Neymar, but I do believe he can become one of the best, can Joe Felix, only 19 years of age. And it did say Man United have opened up talk, to sign Joe Felix. Reportedly we are willing to pay his current buyout clause. I think his buyout clause is around £100 million, and you can say £100 million is a lot of money to anybody, but especially for a player that's only very, very young, for Joe Felix. Joe Felix has attracted interest, from quite a few clubs, based on his fantastic performances this season for Benfica. It's only been his first season in the senior squad with Benfica. Obviously, has not yet currently made his senior debut for Portugal. But Joe Felix for me would be the right solution for Manchester United. It did say Man United have instructed scouts yet again, to watch him over the course of the weekend. But Man United have been scouting him for a number of months. Joe Felix, as I said, plays primarily as an attacking midfielder. He can also play as a winner. He can play as a secondary striker in that. So he is very, very versatile, and I do believe he would be the right solution for Manchester United. With Joe Felix, he's got goals in him. He's got assists in him. He's currently got immense talent, and he has got absolutely a lot of years ahead of him. And I do believe if he came to Premier League, he would definitely take his career to the next level. But I do really like this player. But he's been on Manchester United's agenda, for quite some time. So I'd rather spend £100 million on him than rather spend £100 million on Isco. That's obviously from my own perspective. And talking about, Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon, how much I like Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, I see him as a great replacement for Paul Pogba, Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, Manchester City have also, been in for Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, the more attractive option, would be Manchester City for a player of Bruno Fernandes' calibre. But it did initially say quite a few weeks back that City adopted him out of the race for Bruno Fernandes. I think it does reportedly say that the quoted fee is around £60 million that Sporting Lisbon want for Bruno Fernandes, but his initial lease clause is around 85 or 86 million pounds in his deal with Sporting Lisbon. But he's got everything, and I think if he came to Premier League, he would produce and deliver the same element of the performances, that he has been doing, in his couple of seasons with Sporting Lisbon. And I think he's got all the attributes, to succeed in the Premier League. But I think he'd blend in very, very well in our midfield. I think he'd been creating us in that midfield. He'd had depth in our midfield. He'd score goals from that midfield, and I think he would be the right solution for Manchester United with Bruno Fernandes. And so I think he'd be absolutely fantastic for us. Obviously, he had a lot of experience of playing in Italy, when he was younger, with the likes of San Pandora, with the likes of Under Knees. Of course, he had quite a lot of years of experience under his belt in Italy when he was younger, but he has had now a couple of seasons of experience under his belt in Portugal, and he has tied up in Portugal very, very well. And and I do believe he would be the right solution for Manchester United. But reports came out the other week saying City were close to finalising a deal for him, because it did say City were initially in talks with Sporting Lisbon over a deal worth around £47 million for Bruno Fernandes, and it did say City were willing to offer one or two of their players as part of the deal. But Manchester United, I still believe, are still in there for Bruno Fernandes. And looking at how I'd like Bruno Fernandes and Joe Felix, they're both very, very good players. They're both Portuguese. They've both tied up in Portugal very, very well. But I don't see us getting both players. Of course, we may get one of them, but I don't see us currently getting both of them. But they've both been on Manchester United's agenda, for quite some time. And I think, they currently would be fantastic for us. And other midfielders would be interesting. Obviously, there's been reports coming out at least in the last 2 to 3 days in regards to Atletico Madrid's Thomas Partey. It has said he has been subjected to transfer speculation from the likes of Manchester United. I think also Arsenal have expressed their interest in Thomas Partey. He has spent the majority of his career with Atletico Madrid. I think he is a central defensive midfielder, and obviously that's one of the areas where Manchester United do currently need to address, because obviously we lost Fellaini left in January. Obviously, we've got Nemanja Matic, and I don't think Nemanja Matic is reliable enough, too slow, too ineffective in that midfield. Okay, in some games he has demonstrated, that he can play really, really well, and his distribution, currently had improved as Nemanja Matic's, but he's aging up, and I know he's got years of experience under his belt in the Premier League, but he's just not reliable enough, and I think we need a centre defensive midfield that's fast and tenacious. And do you believe that, Thomas Partey, would be the right solution? I don't really know much about this player, but I know he spent the majority of his career with Atletico Madrid, and I do know he's won the Europa League with them, and he's won the current Super Cup with Atletico Madrid, but I don't really know much about this player. I know he has got a release clause of around, £43 million in his contract with Atletico Madrid, but it is Manchester United and Arsenal that are currently battling out for the player, so he's been another midfielder that Manchester United have been currently interested in. Obviously, West Ham's Declan Rice, a British player, obviously, he's well Premier League proven, he's Declan Rice, obviously got years now of experience under his belt in the Premier League as Declan Rice. Initially, learned his trade in the Premier League, but he has been at West Ham a number of years now as Declan Rice. He's been in the senior squad a couple of years with them, but he has been a fundamental player. He's been fantastic. He's an energetic midfielder. He can break up the player very, very well, can Declan Rice, and his performances throughout the course of this season under Manuel Pellegrini have been absolutely fantastic. Only 20 years of age, has still got a lot of years ahead of him. Got a contract with West Ham till 2024. Obviously, primarily a defensive midfielder, and does hold his line very, very well. I think he can also play as a centre back, but I think he's primarily a defensive midfielder. Is Declan Rice. He's been one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets, and West Ham may be willing to do business. I think West Ham did say they'd want around £50 million for him, so he's been another name that's been currently mentioned. So there's a lot of players on our current agenda, and we are aware that there's quite a few players out there for a reasonable figure. So maybe we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer. Instead of, spending lots on current one player, of course, so maybe we should, be currently sensible with our recruitment. Obviously, as you all know, talks about Nicolas Pepe, and again, I'd love him at Manchester United. Nicolas Pepe, he's the obvious candidate for that wing, is Nicolas Pepe, because obviously he's primarily a winner. Obviously, as it did confirm quite a few days back, was it, or the other week, that the Lille boss has currently confirmed, that Nicolas Pepe, sorry, I had a few drinks tonight. Will be departing, Lille this summer, and the Lille boss has currently confirmed this, and he's attracted interest, from quite a few clubs as Nicolas Pepe. The likes of Real Madrid have been in for him. Arsenal have obviously been long admirers of the player. Liverpool have also, been in for him. I think Bayern Munich have expressed their interest. So there's a number of clubs that are interested in Nicolas Pepe. He's only 23 years of age. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him, and I think if he came to a Premier League, it would be the next step for Nicolas Pepe. Obviously, so far, I've spent the entirety of his career with Lille in France, but he has been at Lille a couple of seasons now as Nicolas Pepe. But I think he's got a contract with them until 2022, but got goals in him, got assists in him, got currently immense talent, and I think he'd blend in very, very well in our attacking line, with Nicolas Pepe, if he was currently to come in. But yeah, there has been a lot of talks about him, but I think it's guaranteed he will be leaving Lille this summer, but I don't know where his next current destination is going to be, because there's a lot of teams, that have attracted their interest in the player, and he's the obvious candidate for the win, and obviously that's one of the areas where Manchester United are currently lacking. So yeah, there has been a lot of talks about him going on. Obviously, as you all know, as he updated you, was it a couple of days ago, in regards to Real Madrid's Gareth Bale. Now, obviously, Zinedine Zidane declared that Gareth Bale no longer has a future with Real Madrid, and this is what obviously Zinedine Zidane said. He publicly announced it, and Zinedine Zidane did bluntly make it clear that he admitted that Gareth Bale no longer fits in his plans with Real Madrid, and obviously Gareth Bale has been linked with a move to Manchester United since 2013. And obviously, since then, the rumours have continued to persist. But as I did say, I don't want Gareth Bale at Manchester United. If you'd have asked me a couple of years ago, I'd have probably taken your hand off, and I would have taken Gareth Bale. But I think Real Madrid are going to find it extremely, very, very difficult, to offload Gareth Bale permanently. based on his substantial wages, because obviously, Bale's on around £600,000 a week. I think it's about £600,000 a week Bale is on. So I think if Real Madrid do want to get rid of him, they've blatantly, made it clear. So I think Real Madrid, will have to, either let him go out on loan or let him go on a free. But there has been talks that they could let him go on a free Real Madrid, Gareth Bale. There has been talks that he could go make a return back to Tottenham on loan. Obviously, Manchester United, of course, have been in there for him. But I don't think from our own perspective, we're not keen on, bringing Gareth Bale to the club, of course. And obviously, if Real Madrid, even could, get rid of him permanently, they wouldn't recoup the initial £85 million, they did pay for him from Tottenham, back in 2013. Maybe they would get around 50 or 60 million, but they wouldn't get the initial £85 million, they did currently pay for him. I think from Gareth Bale's perspective, though, I think, he still wants to remain at Real Madrid, and I think he wants to spend the rest of his career with Real Madrid. But Zinedine Zidane, of course, wants to get him out of the club, because I think in the last couple of seasons with Real Madrid, he's been very, very inconsistent as Gareth Bale. Obviously, he's still got 3 years left on his contract with Real Madrid, but there's quite a few reasons why I wouldn't want him at Manchester United. One, he's currently aging up, and I think he's on the decline, and he's now nearly 30 years of age. Two, he's injury prone, is Gareth Bale. He has sustained a lot of injuries with Real Madrid. And you can, Bale, I think, does he play on the left? I think you can also put Gareth Bale on the right, but I don't want him at currently Manchester United. And that is a fact. I don't want him at Manchester United. But yeah, he had a lot of years of experience, under his belt, did Gareth Bale, when he was, he had a lot of years of experience under his belt, in the Premier League, of course, when he was a lot younger, because, to be fair, he did have 6 good years with Tottenham, did Bale. Obviously, he began his career with Southampton, but in his 6 years with Real Madrid, Bale has currently, won about 13 trophies, including 4 Champions Leagues, a La Liga, Copa del Rey, and all that. He's obviously, I think he's made about 231 appearances for Real Madrid, as Gareth Bale, but like I said, I think he's won about 13 major honours. So Real Madrid are looking to get rid of him. Obviously, Real Madrid lost Cristiano Ronaldo last summer, so obviously, Real Madrid, from their perspective, wanted Gareth Bale to step up to the plate, but obviously, he didn't exceed that expectation. So Real Madrid, I think, want to get rid of him. He has been linked with Manchester United for a number of years now, but I don't want him at Manchester United, and that is a current fact. And in talks in regards to Alexis Sanchez, of course, and it's looking like he's going to be leaving the club, which is very, very good news, because obviously he's been one of our problematic players, as Alexis Sanchez. Obviously we can't get rid of him permanently, again based on his substantial wages, because obviously he's on 400 grand a week, rising up to potentially around 500 grand a week, based on image rights, based on the goals and I think the bonuses and stuff like that. It rises up to about 500 grand a week, and his wages are having a really, really bad effect on the football club. And so I think we're willing to get rid of him. We're willing to let him go on a long season loan, and Manchester United are willing to pay half of his wages off. And I think Sanchez has agreed this pay cut. Obviously, Juventus and Inter Milan have expressed their interest in him, and I think it is Juventus and Inter Milan that are currently battling it out for Alexis Sanchez, because obviously going back the other week, that Sanchez's agent was currently in Italy. Obviously, Juventus and Inter Milan had been in negotiations with Alexis Sanchez's agent. But yeah, Sanchez obviously had experience of playing in Italy, when he was younger with Udinese, of course, and so I think he will play his trade in Italy next season with Alexis Sanchez. But obviously he's been so inconsistent for Manchester United. Obviously, we'd have thought he'd have been a fundamental player. We'd have thought he'd have exceeded expectation levels, reflecting back, what he did at Arsenal. So he's had years of experience under his belt in the Premier League. Obviously he played under Pep Guardiola when he was younger, did Alexis Sanchez at Barcelona. So he's just been so inconsistent for Manchester United, and obviously, he has become injury prone as well. He's sustained about 4 injuries at Manchester United. He's only been here about 16 months, and as well, he doesn't have a future at the club. He's 30 years of age. He has lost that yard of pace of Sanchez. So looking at him, he doesn't have a future at the club. So yeah, it's looking like he's going to be going. Which is very, very good news. And obviously, another problem with Manchester United, we've been letting far too many players' contracts run down. Obviously, Mata's coming to an end of his deal. Rashford is, of course, is in the final year of his deal. Obviously, we've not come to an agreement yet to get him a new contract. Talking about David De Gea, obviously, he's only got a year left on his deal. So we've been letting far too many players' contracts run down. Obviously, as the reports came out yesterday, guys, as you all know, in regards to David De Gea. he has confirmed that he has turned down our final contract offer as David De Gea. So now obviously this means now I think his future has been clarified, and I think he's going to be leaving Manchester United, and I think he's set to make the move to PSG. Obviously he has been linked with a move to PSG, and I think PSG are willing to pay up to around £68 million for David De Gea. It did initially say that PSG were intending on getting David De Gea on a free transfer next year, but obviously it would be a calamity if Manchester United let David De Gea go on a free transfer, because obviously we've got the chance to cash in for him this summer. I think he's going to be leaving now anyway. I think it's been blatantly made clear that David De Gea is not signing a new contract with the club, so I think we can get around £60 or £70 million for him this summer. I don't believe, well, I think he's worth more than £60 or £70 million. At full value for a goalkeeper, I think he's worth around £100 million, and he's potentially the best goalkeeper in the world, is David De Gea. But as I did say, guys, we're not going to get £100 million from him, because obviously he's in the final year of his contract, is De Gea. But we've been in talks for a long time, trying to convince David De Gea to sign a new contract in the club. But reportedly, he is demanding that he wants around £350,000 a week from Manchester United. But reportedly, Manchester United are not willing to meet his current wage demands, of course. And, David De Gea has been a great servant to the club. He's been here about, 8 years now. He's been fantastic here. I've admired his fantastic career. He's made over 300 appearances in all competitions for Manchester United. As you all know, he has won everything here domestically. I think he's won the Clubs Player of the Year, but 4 times out of the last 6 seasons, of course, and he's been fantastic for Manchester United. And obviously we know that Real Madrid have been long admirers of him. Obviously Real Madrid have been linked to him a number of years, and Real Madrid were on the brink of getting him in 2015, which was 4 years ago, but due to a fax machine, the current deal never materialised. So I do believe if De Gea goes, we are going to currently need a replacement for him. I think now Man United are not intending on getting a replacement for De Gea. I think if De Gea does leave the club, which is looking very, very likely, I think we are set to let Sergio Romero become our number 1 goalkeeper for next season. Sergio Romero did very, very well this season in the FA Cup games, of course, when he was in contention. He did really, really well, but I don't think at this moment in time he's reliable enough, to become our number 1 goalkeeper permanently. Sergio Romero, I may be wrong, but that's my current opinion on it. But so I don't think now we're intending on, buying a goalkeeper to replace David De Gea, because we're willing to give, we want Sergio Romero as our current number 1 goalkeeper. Obviously, we've got the likes of Dean Henderson. Obviously, he's been on loan at Sheffield United, but I don't think he's really got the experience yet. Obviously, we've got the likes of Lee Grant. So I do believe if De Gea leaves, we need a replacement for him. But I don't think now we're intending on getting a replacement for him. I think we'll letting Sergio Romero be our current number 1 goalkeeper. And so the main part of this video was to give you an update on in regards of what's going on with Aaron Bissaka. Reportedly now Manchester United have submitted a £25 million bid for the young Englishman. He's the upcoming future. He's Aaron Bissaka. He's been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation from the likes of Tottenham and Manchester City, because obviously they've also been interested in him. But I do believe we need a right back. He's predominantly a right back as Aaron Bissaka, full position very, very well, and he would be the perfect successor to Valencia. He'd be a fantastic upgrade to Ashley Young, and he would be a good cover up for Diego Dalot. Diego Dalot's the upcoming future. He's only 19, 20 years of age, but I still believe we need a cover up for him. So yeah, there has been a lot of talks about Aaron Bissaka, but £25 million obviously isn't going to be enough to convince Palace to sell him. Palace have named the price tag. I think they want around an initial 50 or 60 million pounds, and they have made it currently clear of Crystal Palace. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, guys, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.